I don't think at a single point did anyone bring up a leprechaun. Nobody said the word leprechaun the entire time we were there. Nobody had called me a wanker or a wanker cunt at all, and is used very liberally in that country, and not once did anyone call me one, and I felt offended that they did not. I was like, oh, they don't respect me enough.
Did you try to do anything?
I did.
Okay.
Welcome to Scary Funny, the podcast where funny comedians talk about scary places, haunted things, and stuff that freak us out. A very special episode, obviously not in the studio, because the studio is a disaster right now. And if you look around and you see how shitty this place is, and you're thinking, well, how bad could the studio be? It's fucking bad right now. It's been well over a month since we've recorded. I just saw you for the first time the other day.
Sad. Friday night?
Friday night. But we're back.
Yeah.
So a little peek behind the curtain. When we started doing this, we recorded probably twice a week, 2 episodes a night. And we did probably 15 in advance, for weeks in advance. And because I knew I was going out of town, you were going out of town, I was going to be on vacation. Then May came around. It's one of my busiest times of the year. So I just knew we're going to need some in the can.
Yeah.
We are at 0 episodes in the can right now.
0 can.
The can is empty. The can is officially empty right now. Like, this will go up the week after the Grant Cotter episode. And that's the last one we got recorded.
And then back to 0 again.
It's back to 0, which means if we don't get a shit ton recorded again,
yep,
we might have to do a couple of these where it's just you and me.
You gotta do what you gotta do, right?
So let's get back into it. I'm your host, Thom Tran, comedian, Army veteran, actor, podcast producer, apparently here with my co-host, Deshaun Ross.
What up?
How are you, my friend?
I'm good. I've been juicing today.
Not in the...
No, I wish. Like, if I played professional sports, I'd probably juice.
Really?
Yeah.
Even with the little dick thing?
Well, not that juice. All the juices now, they gotta have a juice that doesn't touch your balls.
I don't think so. I think it still like gives you acne, makes you crazy, and makes your dick small. Or your balls. Is it your dick or your balls?
I don't want small either one. Because I like having like long balls. It's kind of cool.
The kind that hits the hits the water while you're taking a shit.
It's always kind of cool just to have balls.
This episode started real weird, real fast, but that's fine. We're just getting back into it. So the whole idea of the show, if you haven't listened before, and I feel like this is a reset episode for us.
Yeah.
Because the first episode was you and me and Mike.
Yes.
And we went. I mean, when did we start this? August.
What month is it? Wait, we're in
June. We're recording this in June.
Dang. It's almost a year?
It's almost a year because this is episode 39. There's
crazy.
only 52 weeks in a year.
It don't feel like it, though.
It don't feel like it.
I was going to say like, last month or something. A year?
This is episode 39.
Oh my God.
Which means, I mean, there's 52 weeks in a year. There's 13 weeks left. So it'll be 9 months.
That's
We've been doing this for 9 months.
Oh my God.
But it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun.
A heap of fun.
So the whole idea of the show is we're stand-up comedians. We talk to our stand-up comedian friends about haunted places and scary stuff. And this has transitioned a little bit. It started...
Transitioned.
No pun intended.
So childish.
This started off as just talking about haunted places and stuff like that, but it turned into like ghosts and zombies, and I don't think we've talked about... Oh, no, we have talked about zombies.
Yes, we have.
But it's turned into like ghosts and zombies and haunted places and like aliens and all that shit. And it's been fun. It's just been very tiring because we had to do a lot of these, and then in between work and all that. So I thought this would be a good episode for us to catch up and really catch up, because if we were going to do these catch ups starting with a guest, it's literally 5 weeks of not seeing each other.
Yeah.
So how are you? How are your 5 weeks since we've been recording?
What's crazy is I went to visit my friend. He works at a movie theater out here in LA in Westwood, and he goes, it's easy to get lost if you go into the back, which I did. I ended up getting lost, and there was a door that had like a skull and like some real life spider webs hanging. Because I was like, oh, there's a door, and I went to it, and I saw that. I tell you, I looked, I stopped, I turned, and I ran. And then he goes, oh no, it's a lot of people say it's haunted here. I said, why wouldn't you lead with that when don't go back here because you're gonna get lost? Oh, and it's haunted.
You're burying the lead.
So now
people get lost back here.
Yeah. I want to go back to see, but not by myself.
Where was this theater?
Westwood.
Westwood.
Yeah.
Is there haunted shit in Westwood?
You're not supposed to be back there also, but
okay.
I know him and he works there, so it's kind of like I work there too.
Okay, I got it.
That's how I feel.
So over the last 5 weeks, let's catch people up. So I know people have been listening, and some of the intros have been dog shit because I was recording them like on my phone from like a hotel in Ireland or some shit. Ireland. By the way, while I was in Ireland, I asked one of the caretakers at the Airbnb we stayed at. I was like, excuse me, could I just get your opinion on this accent? I'm an actor back in the United States, and I'm doing a part in a movie, and I'm playing an Irish character, and you could see the look in her eyes like, you're playing an Irish character? So yeah, I'm playing an Irish character. I said, I just need to know, how is my accent? And she goes, I didn't know you weren't Irish until this very moment. I was like, yeah, I'm from the United States. She said, goodness, your Irish accent is brilliant. I was like, well, yeah.
Go ahead and hold it down.
Which means I get to write off the entire trip.
Because that was for work study.
Because it was research. I had to go to Ireland and see if I could pass as with an Irish accent, as an Asian man with an Irish accent. And my girlfriend was like, I can't believe you did that shit. I was like, yeah, well, yeah, absolutely. Because now I know that this Irish accent can pass.
It's legit.
And here's the thing she said. She said, you're not over the top. Like a lot of people do the Lucky Charms, like the over the top Irish accent. She says, you're very good. You have the right inflections in you.
Nice.
She's the right pacing for it. I said, oh, it's fucking brilliant. She said, yeah, that's a little English right there.
So now it's going to be hard to get you to not talk into it because you're an expert at it.
Oh, I know. I mean, every year on St. Patrick's Day, I would go to a bar and I would walk around with this Irish accent. And I had a whole backstory. I would see how many girls I could convince that I was actually from Galway, which is on the west of Ireland.
Nice.
It's a nice little coastal town. It's a beautiful island off the coast. Man, if there were iPhones around at that time, I would have gotten canceled a long time ago.
I'm actually glad there wasn't.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Anyway, so I was, for our listeners know, I was out of town. I was in Europe for 2 weeks. And then I came back and I did the GI Film Festival. I had to host that. And then immediately had to fly to Alabama, do a gig in Alabama. And then immediately came back and hosted the Army Ball. So I was like back and forth like 2 days a week for essentially 5 weeks. And you, thankfully, thank you so much for taking care of the kids while I was gone. How was that being in Casa Tran with just the kids?
The first day was when I noticed that the gate doesn't really work for all the cats. I was like, oh, snap, because he was just chilling on the bed.
Really?
I was like, oh, he can get through this thing. And then, because remember, you had the headphone issue?
Yeah.
I was like, that's the one who did it. Sneaky little guy.
All right.
So then I was like, okay, I got to make sure I close doors now, too. Other than that, you have a really good knife. One of your knives is really good. I used it for just dumb stuff. I was like, I got to chop stuff. So I kept myself chopping. But I had a good time, pretending like I lived back in North Hollywood.
Nice.
It's very.
Did anything weird happen? How are you when you like stay at somebody's house, especially if they're not here? Like, do you feel weird?
I think you could take a guess. I absolutely feel weird, and I am a little bit scared. That's not because I'm scared of everything. It's just new darkness is weird to me.
Yes,
I've always said that.
Same.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And then I don't know these noises.
Right.
I know the noises at my spot, but
right.
What is?
Yeah.
So yeah, the door closed really helped. I may or may not have brought a weapon with me just in case.
Totally understandable.
I was like,
100.
I'd rather be safe than sorry.
I mean, it's a pretty safe neighborhood, but I can understand. Like,
yeah, because
I went to Alabama and I was like,
when you hear that, you got to remember. Oh yeah, there's
four.
Yeah,
there's 4 animals
so
living around here.
And I did it like I was like the week before I was here. My friend asked me to do an overnight thing for her, and I had my homeboy actually help me. He said he brought his too. I said, yeah, because this was in Leimert Park.
What overnight thing?
She needed someone. They have like these. She was working on a film, and they didn't have. They had to fire their security crew to watch their equipment. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna need it with me.
Right.
I'm out and in this, it was this crazy building. It lights flicker. There's 100 doors. Oh yeah, so I brought it with me.
Okay. All right. Groovy.
But other than that, it was great. I tried to pretend like I should have brought my slide so I could pretend like it was mine. Put my robe on, stand out, and greet the neighbors. Hey, how you guys doing? But I didn't do that. I should have though.
Were any of the neighbors like, "Who are you?"
No. And what I tried to make sure, I always came at different times.
Okay.
Come and go at different times because I never want people to think there's a pattern.
Right.
Yeah. I'm very meticulous when it comes to stuff like that. Even when I go home, I make sure it's never at the same time all the time because people. If they want to rob you, they're going to start knowing, okay, this is his pattern. I don't have a pattern.
That's why I have a different route every day when we run.
Yep.
I run a different distance every day.
You'll never catch me on a pattern.
Absolutely. Now that I'm like in the office a few times a week, like I make sure. And that's basic counterterrorism 101, if you didn't know. Like,
and here's the thing. I've never been in the military. But I have a lot of military-ish ways.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's a lot had to do because my father was, though. He was a Marine, so I have a lot of tactical training, if you will, to keep myself safe.
Yeah. So I actually went to a haunted castle while I was in Ireland.
That was going to be my first question. Did you see anything scary?
So our friends Ben and Kathy, Ben Garant, who he's one of the writers and creators on like The State and Reno 911, and he wrote Night at the Museum with his buddy Thom Lennon. They're writing partners. So Lorraine and I had dinner with Ben and Kathy, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we went to Ireland, when we were first dating," and they said you got to go to Leap Castle. Leap Castle.
Okay.
So I looked it up. Yo, this place was.
Let me go look.
It's an old Irish castle. So it looks exactly the way you think an old Irish castle would look. And I guess the history behind this joint was like there were these a family that was arguing about who like got possession of the castle.
Of course.
And they just started fucking offing each other to get possession of the castle. Of the castle. And one of the things they like Ben and Kathy told us was when you go there, Sean, the guy, and it's Leap spelled Leap, just like Leap. And the guy Sean, who owns the place, you can just go up, knock on the door, and he will give you a tour. Or he'll just like we got there first thing in the morning. Like we flew into Dublin,
so it's a little still dark.
No, I mean we were there in May, so like, it got dark at like 10 o'clock in Ireland because it's like higher up in longitude, and we got there early.
This looks scary from the outside,
dude. I got so much video of the place, but you just knock on the door and Sean comes out and he's like, "How can I help you?" And we're like, I was like, I'm friends with a couple, and they came here a few years ago, and they told us we should come over and say hi and check the place out and whatever. So he's like, come on in, and he just sits down. He's this old cat. He's got a gray beard, and you just like you ask him about the castle, and apparently what they did was they used to take their enemies up to the tower. Okay,
I see the tower.
Yeah, and they wouldn't throw them off the tower to kill them. What they would do was there's a passage between the tower, like is inside the tower. You go upstairs and like it's like almost like a chimney, but that's not the correct term for it. It's just basically an open space between like the main part of the tower and the wall. Okay, so imagine here's a house. There's the wall right here,
but there's a gap,
and there's a gap. They used to put their enemies in the gap. They would just drop them in there. So between the castle and the wall, that's where these people just sit and die. They would just fucking keep throwing bodies in there.
That sucks.
And
So it's just bodies on top of bodies.
Just bodies on top of bodies on top of bodies. Until
you die.
Until you die, and then they got to fish the bodies out and like fucking start over again.
Yeah. That sounds a gross job, and that would suck.
Yeah.
As a punishment.
So Sean, I guess he bought this place I want to say in the 60s, and him and his family, they just been like rebuilding it like to its original glory, I guess.
Dang, that looks crazy.
And he was like,
he actually lives there?
He lives there. Just straight up lives there by himself.
And that's a lot of castle.
It's a lot of castle. And he goes, at one point he just goes, do you want to go check out the tower? I'm like, yeah, absolutely want to check out the tower. He goes, take this lantern and go upstairs. And I'm like, wait, are you going to come with us? He goes, no. You just open this door, turn on the torch, and go. And torch is a flashlight.
A lantern.
And he goes, yeah, just open the door and just be careful. And I'm like, no, you have to come with us, right? He's like, no, you'll be fine. I'm like, are you? What? We'll
then
be
why
fine?
are you not going?
Just like some old random dude who's, again, and if I stop to think about it, I'm like, so me and my girlfriend fly to Ireland.
Yep.
We don't know anybody. Like, I got one friend in Belfast, 3 hours away. So we fly to Ireland. No plans. We just drive to a haunted castle and ass crack early in the morning and just go into this random dude's house that we don't know who lives in a haunted castle. And he's just like, yeah, do you want to go upstairs? And we just take a fucking flashlight and go up to this tower in a haunted castle of a dude. When we got in the car to leave, I was like, oh, that's how our horror story happens.
Yeah.
That's the fucking, like a murder movie. That's how that gets written. Because we didn't tell anybody. We just we went and then, luckily, while we were up, just as we were about to go upstairs, another couple showed up.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, so there's
felt a little bit better.
There's witnesses. And then I think by the time we left, there were like a couple more groups of people that showed up. So we were the first, and we were there early. We were there like 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning. And just people showed up. And it was crazy. The dude just lets people in.
And he lives there.
He lives there. He don't know him from Adam. He don't know if they're there to kill him or do him dirty. He just lets people into his house.
Yeah, I don't think I would do that.
And then when we left, we were like, can I give you something? He's like, oh, we suggest £7 per person, which is like $10 or something like that.
Okay.
And I was like, I was gonna give you like $50. Like I thought it was gonna be like more.
Yeah.
So I gave him. I was like, dude, nothing will make you feel like a child than looking at other people's money and going, I don't know. What this is. Like he's like, it'd be £7 per person. I'm like, is it the paper? Is it the Monopoly money, or is it the
I thought it was just me.
looking?
When you travel, all the money looks like Monopoly money to me.
Oh my god, dude! You don't. As an adult, you feel so dumb. Nothing will make you feel slower.
When they tell you the price, you go, and just
Can I just tap my card? Can I just tap my card?
And then they take it and give back, and you go, thank you.
Yeah,
I guess that's right.
Dude, one guy just straight up ripped us off. The cab driver.
Of course he did.
From Dublin Airport into Dublin City Center. And it was like, I wasn't even paying attention. I mean, it was like a 10-hour flight.
Yeah.
We get in, and, I slept the whole way.
Yeah, you
because
should've.
we took a red eye, flew overnight. I drank some booze, took some drugs. It was like, out.
I'm out.
Like, I took some sleeping pills. I'm like, I'm out. And we get into Dublin. We just get in a cab. I'm like, I don't care. Let's just I don't want to wait for a train or whatever.
Yeah.
And the guy was just like, yeah, I know the quickest, most direct route. And we just drove all fucking around Dublin.
Yeah.
And then at the end, he was like, yeah, it's like £20 plus tolls. And he just starts hitting the fucking button on the thing. And I was like, wait, we didn't take it. We didn't go to any fucking tolls.
Yeah.
And I was so tired. I was just like, here's £40. Just like, I just fucking want to go to bed right now. And that was the only time. But after that, I was like, I don't fucking trust. I'm just going to tap my card for everything.
That's crazy.
So
Cab drivers rip you off no matter where you at then.
Yeah. So that's the haunted place we went to in Dublin. And then we went to Galway, which is my hometown. It's on the west coast of Ireland. It's a beautiful coastal town, very well known for its seafood. And we took a little puddle jumper to the Aran Islands. There's a movie that came out recently called the Banshees of Inisherin with like Colin Farrell. It's like an Oscar bait movie, really good apparently. But that's where they filmed it. And when I tell you it was a 7-minute plane flight, I mean it was. You know how when you fly to Vegas from Burbank, it's like, ladies and gentlemen, we've reached our cruising altitude. Ladies and gentlemen, prepare to fucking descend.
That's crazy.
We were maybe 500 feet over the water. And it was...
Because it's so fast.
Yeah. Yeah. And I timed it. It was 7 minutes.
Oh, like, legit 7.
It was 7 minutes from the moment we took off to the moment we touched down. It was like a 40-minute, ferry ride.
Yeah.
But it was 7 minutes. It's a tiny little puddle jumper. And I guess that's how they get their mail. But, dude, I didn't... Because Dublin's a city. Dublin is it's a metropolitan city. And so it looks like a city. So when you get there, you're like, oh, yeah, this is definitely Europe, but it's a city.
Yeah.
We got to this little town on an island off the coast of another island.
Yeah, there is.
And it's whatever you think Ireland is in your head, that's what this town was. And I was like, oh, this is where your body disappears. Because there's maybe 400 people live on that island, and they all know each other.
Oh, yeah.
And if you look like me...
You're new.
You are definitely not a local. And
yeah, we can get rid of him.
Yeah. Nobody knows him there. People kept asking, oh, does your family know you here?
Yes. Yes, they do.
Yeah, everybody's... I got an AirTag tracker on me right now. It's hidden in a pocket. And
that's crazy.
4 people have... And it was just... but it was beautiful. It was so great. We did a lot of hiking.
How was the food?
Much walking. It was, you know what? It was hit or miss. There was great food, in Bath, which is outside of London. Mm-hmm. An hour train ride outside of London, hour and a half train ride outside of London. That's what I want to say. I put on so much weight.
Yeah.
Because I didn't work out. It was a lot of walking, but it was strolling through the city walking. Yeah. We went to this place in Dublin. It was an old prison that was also supposedly haunted.
Of course. All old prisons should be.
Yeah, but here's the crazy part. It was one of those prisons, and I thought it was going to be a 17th, 1800s prison. And it was built before then, but they were using that shit until the mid 1900s. Into the 1960s. It was they call it the Troubles. It was when Northern Ireland and Southern Ireland split with each other, and Northern Ireland went with England, and that's a lot of where a lot of the rebels were taken and thrown in prison. And they were talking about they were using it during the famine, and people were getting thrown in jail just to have food. And
that's crazy.
People were dying. Oh, it was crazy. It was this crazy, unbelievable looking prison. And that was a 6-mile walk outside of the city, but it was one of those we're just gonna walk.
Yeah.
We had planned to walk to one place and then get lunch and then take a bus or a cab over there. And next thing I was it's a fucking mile from where we are. Let's just go.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of that. There's a lot of walking around. We walked all through London. We did not take a cab once through London. And then, but yeah, I didn't work out, and I put on a shit ton of weight because every morning it was an Irish breakfast, which is eggs, bacon, sausage, blood sausage, or white sausage, black sausage, mushrooms and tomatoes, and bread every morning.
That's a lot of different sausages.
That's a lot
for breakfast.
Yeah, just for breakfast. That was a lot. So it was Irish breakfast every morning. Usually some kind of seafood chowder at night, along with whatever else.
What kind of bread?
They had what's called soda bread, which is not good. I don't like it.
Oh.
I'm sorry, Ireland. I'm sorry, my Irish people in Galway. I don't like soda bread because it's made with baking soda. Because it was.
So is it salty?
No, it was just kind of firm and
You just didn't like it.
I didn't like it. It was they started making it like during the famine when they were running out of like fucking stuff to make food with. And they're like, we're gonna take some baking soda. It was fine.
Soda bread.
There were a couple like fresh made breads that were really good, but we ate in Bath and it was fucking amazing.
Oh, okay.
We like went to a seafood restaurant. We were shooting stuff for my cooking show, and like we asked this one guy in Bath. I was interviewing this just a security guard, and I was like, "Hey man, where's a good seafood place?" And he goes, "Oh, there's a place down the road, about a mile, half mile, whatever." We'd walk down there. It's just like this little seafood place in the middle of this old Roman-esque town.
Mm-hmm.
Most banging food, like
Nice.
of the entire trip. That was the place I went, holy shit, this food is amazing.
What made it so good?
Everything was so fresh.
I was gonna ask that next.
It was so fresh. Nothing was overpowering.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like you could taste the flavors of the breading or the fish or they had bread there that was out of this world. So yeah, that was great. I didn't see very much haunted stuff in England, but we were there very quickly because we went in to see a friend of mine, but I also did some stand up and
Okay.
So we were in England for 3 days, three maybe 3.5 days.
Do they have English muffins, and do they call them English muffins?
No, they call them crumpets.
Okay.
English muffins were invented in the United States. They were very much an American invention.
I hate that they call it English muffins.
I know.
Such a ripoff.
Yeah. I mean, they'll spit in your face if you ask for an English muffin in London. But that was good. I mean, we were in London the whole time, other than the one day we were in Bath. And London is very metropolitan.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't get a chance to go see any of like their haunted stuff in England, but we went to like Tower Bridge. No, we went to London Bridge, which is dog shit. Tower Bridge it's very nice. Tower Bridge is it's what you think London Bridge is going to be.
London
Bridge. We got to London Bridge and I was like, I'm glad this thing fucking fell down.
A terrible thing to say. That's what you get.
That's what you get for being a dog shit bridge.
Terrible bridge.
So we saw Tower Bridge. That was great. It was beautiful. We went to like Abbey Road. Did the Beatles thing where they would record it. By the way, people who live or have to drive down Abbey Road fucking hate the Beatles.
Oh,
There's this one intersection where the Beatles that famous cover of the Beatles crossing Abbey Road. So there's a law in England and in a lot of UK that if people walk into a crosswalk, you have to stop. And all day long,
people are walking.
Dude, all day. The line of traffic to like just get through that intersection, you see people in the car just cursing out the Beatles. They're like, fuck the Beatles.
Yeah. What's the traffic like over there? I heard it can be bad, really, really bad.
I mean, we took the tube the entire time through London. Like, we either walked.
What's the tube? I'm assuming it's a train?
It's a subway.
Okay.
Yeah. They have a fantastic subway system. We did not drive at all while we were in London.
Nice.
Everything was walkable. It was a very walkable city. It was almost New Yorkish.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. It was New Yorkish without the traffic.
Beautiful.
Because there were cars, but not like New York.
Yeah, because New York's traffic is crazy too.
Yeah. And everybody took the train because there were train stations everywhere, or they walked. It was great. So we didn't get to see anything haunted in Ireland, or in London. But I think Ireland. I think the thing that like had me so fascinated with Ireland was because of their history and their culture. They very much believe in. I don't think at a single point did anyone bring up a leprechaun. Nobody said the word leprechaun the entire time we were there. Nobody had called me a wanker or a
wanker
cunt at all. And cunt is used very liberally in that country. And not once did anyone call me one. And I felt offended that they did not. I was like, oh, they don't respect me enough.
Did you try to do anything cunty?
I did.
Okay.
But I think with Ireland, their culture is very much like we went up to the Giant's Causeway up in Belfast, like Northern Ireland, much north of Belfast. But Giant's Causeway is this naturally formed rock formation, and it looks like, remember that video game Cubert?
Yes.
And Cubert would just like jump up and down on those like step things.
Yes.
The Giant's Causeway is just a huge, naturally occurring Cubert board.
Nice.
And the
is it from the water?
It's from the water. And I guess the story is that there were two giants that were fighting, and or something. I wasn't really paying attention. It was very cold.
Blah blah
blah blah blah blah blah. Ireland and your fucking legends. No, but it was very interesting. Like a lot of their culture is based around like these myths and like fae, like fairies, they call them. Fae. But there was a lot of that. Not so much in London though, or in Ireland. But again, we didn't get out very much in London. There was like we'd go eat.
Yeah.
I think a couple days like we woke up and like went to Notting Hill because we watched the movie Notting Hill on the plane. And so fun fact, everybody, I don't know if you know, Notting Hill is one of my favorite movies because when I was in Japan, it was the only movie the video store had in English.
That's funny.
So I watched it over and over again. So I was like in love with this movie, Notting Hill. So when we were on the plane flying over there, we watched it together. And they were like, okay, when we get to London, the hotel we were staying at wasn't far. So we walked over to Notting Hill, and then we walked over to the Beatles place. But again, like no time to really go see anything historic in London. But I did do stand-up. You ever do stand-up over there?
No, haven't been there yet. Is it difficult?
Difficult? No. Different? Yes. Very different.
Like they're comedians or you performing for them?
I think the way they view comedy and the way the audiences are trained with comedy. So, here, when a comic gets on stage, the host is like, ladies and gentlemen, you've seen this guy on The Tonight Show on Comedy Central. Yo, they don't give a fuck about that.
Yeah.
They do not give a single fuck that you were on
anything
this show 4 years ago, or if you're coming up on it. Like, be funny now.
Yeah.
You have right now to impress us. We don't give a fuck what you did before.
I like that.
Be funny now. And that was good. I like that. I dug that. But they are also very, like, unforgiving. Like, you got to get them.
So there's no winning them back type thing?
I mean, I did a couple of short sets, but, like, I saw a comic. So I did a show, and there weren't a lot of Americans on the show.
Oh, okay.
I think there were, like, 2 or 3 of us. And I'd always, like, as I talked to a bunch of my British comic friends, I was like, hey, what should I expect when I go do stand-up in London? And shut up, Siri. So I asked a bunch of my British comic friends, like, what should I expect when I go over there? And I remembered that I had to make sure my references worked over there. Like, they understood. Like, there's a couple jokes that I do that, if I use the wrong reference, it wouldn't make any sense. Like,
yeah, I can see that.
I asked somebody, like, right off the bat, I was like, do you guys have an Olive Garden here? They're like, we don't know what an Olive Garden is, mate. And I was like, okay, what's a mid-level, kind of shitty Italian place that you wouldn't take on a first date?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, it's Pizza Express. So, like,
so you got to switch that.
I used Pizza Express.
Yeah. And
the joke was fine. Because inherently the joke is funny, but if the reference doesn't work, they're not going to take it. So I was very conscious of that. Very like, okay, what about, I was going through my set, and I was like, what about this joke is going to be funny, and what do I need to switch up? And there was another comic who did not do that.
Where is this comic from?
The States. And came out with a lot of references about the States, or that would only be understood by someone
from the States. Yeah.
And I was like, I get the joke, but, like, these people don't know this TV show you're talking about, so they don't give a
Yeah,
fuck.
it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It's like doing an impersonation of someone nobody knows.
Yeah. Let me do an impression. This is Jeff,
Yeah.
the guy at Starbucks down the street. Like, nobody knows or gives a shit.
I don't even know if it's good because I don't know the guy you're talking about.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. It was kind of like that, but it was also like he came out expecting it to be like the same crowd as back home.
No.
And they very much were not. And
Yeah.
yeah, and I think so. You ever do a gong show?
Yes.
Okay. I'd never done a gong show in my entire career.
Okay.
Ever. So, like, when I booked this gig, I was like, oh, hey, can I do this? You know, I'm in a town. Can I do the show? And they're like, yeah, here's the information, like, the week before we got to London. And I sent that to my agent. Like, I looked at it. I was like, is this what I think it is? And I sent it to my agent. My agent's like, are you sure you want to do this? And I'm like, I don't know.
A gong show.
But, so they call it the blackout. So it kind of works the same way. So how it works was you get 5 minutes, all right? The first 2 minutes, okay, so you get 5 minutes of stage time.
Okay.
There are 3 audience members with white cards, like soccer cards. And for the first 2 minutes, you can say or do whatever. You can be funny or not be funny. But after that third minute, after that second minute's over, once you get in the third minute, the people with the cards, they can start throwing. They're gonna, if they don't think you're funny,
give you 2 minutes of
free time.
Yeah. Okay.
But as soon as that second minute is over, if they don't think you're funny, they can throw up that card. And if all 3 people throw up the card,
Then you get going.
it's not even gong, bro. So after the so the way it works is like after the first 2 minutes, they flash the lights to let you know your first 2 minutes is over. And if you get carded 3 times in that next 3 minutes, they cut your mic immediately and you just hear it is fucking emotionally upsetting.
It's got to be damaging.
Like, they told me what was going on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know if my ego can handle this. Like, I've been doing comedy for almost 20 years.
Yeah.
I've never done a gong show. I don't know if emotionally I can deal with being gonged. Even if it's like my first time in London. I've never performed in London before.
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
And then I was talking to a couple of cats and they were like, yeah, this is my first time doing comedy. I was like, wait, is it first time doing this? And they're like, no, comedy. I've never been on stage.
Oh, you're going to get gonged.
I was like, what kind of balls do you have
to go to a gong show first?
Go on a gong show first.
Did they get it?
Yeah, they all got gonged. Except one person didn't get gonged. And my girlfriend was like, that person should have got gonged.
Oh, okay. He might have knew a lot of people too, though.
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because if the people with the card you.
Okay.
But here's the thing: the audience gets to boo the card holders too.
So if they gong you and the audience likes you, they can boo them.
They can boo the card holders.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a lot of pressure.
It's a lot of pressure. I was thinking about doing one here in the States just to see how it would go. I was thinking about it. What do you think?
I mean, the Apollo was big. People like to boo or gong or...
Yeah.
I just think it's always... For me, you know what I always hated about those type of shows? Except for there, because they give you 2 minutes free.
Right.
Once people know they can boo or do anything to you, they come ready to do that, wanting to do it.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, how you doing? Boo! And they start booing right away.
That's the thing. Like, you get 2 minutes to impress. And then after that, it's fucking no holds barred. But also the audience gets to boo the judges. So I think that was good. But I had to come out swinging, dude.
Right away.
And I did not get gonged. I did not get... I beat the blackout, as they say. But I was like, holy shit. Like, I'd never...
Do they hang around after they get gonged?
Yes.
Oh, I'm not hanging out.
Yeah, they all hung her out after. And I guess what happens is... it was funny there. Because the owner was like also... Or the booker was explaining to me like what happens after, like if you don't get gonged or blacked out. Just like everybody who beats the blackout... at the end of the night, the judges decide who gets a bottle of something. And I looked at my girlfriend. I was like, I don't know what that is. And my girlfriend goes, it's wine. And the lady's like, is he Mormon? And my girlfriend just like, he doesn't drink.
That's funny.
so I was
Mormon.
like, oh, thank God I didn't win because I didn't want to carry around this bottle of wine and not drink it.
You would have to because you can't bring it back.
I can't
either.
bring it back.
Yeah.
I mean, I could give it to a wino. Just be like, hey, man, here, you were the funniest tonight.
Appreciate it.
But yeah, that was pretty, it was weird. Like, I was so scared.
I mean, Gong Show, anytime, like I said, anytime they can boo you or whatever,
Yeah.
it's going to make you be way more nervous than any other time, I think, personally.
Yeah.
Because I've been to the Apollo. I used to do when Steve Harvey was out here, he did the West Coast Apollo. I used to do the warm-up for that.
Oh, really?
And people almost would get into fights.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Because if that, your loved one, some people take that so serious.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even think about that.
You start booing them. I know you ain't booing my family member.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. It was crazy.
That's crazy.
But yeah, so people would come, like they had one dude was called Boo Man. He had different shirts that said Boo Man.
Shut up.
I promise you. He had different shirts, different hoodies, and he went and printed all Boo Man on them. So like he looked forward to booing people. That's the only problem with that. And they didn't give you the 2 minutes like they did.
I think it would be interesting to see how this would work here with that 2-minute premise.
You would have to you got to give me a second to get the joke off.
Yeah. You got 2 minutes to impress me.
Yeah.
2 minutes to make me laugh. And then after that, there was one guy, as soon as that light flashed,
he was done.
all 3 hands went up. I was like, damn. Not even one, just all 3 were
at
like,
the same time.
Get off the stage. Yeah.
You know what I think people would do out here though, is once the 2 minutes is up, you'll see some people go, thank you, that's my time, and try to get off before they can get booed.
Yeah, I guess so. But
not a lot, but I think there would be a few.
Yeah. But I think it was nice that they had random people in the audience who were the judges.
Okay,
So it couldn't be plants. It was like the host would get up and be like, why do you think you'd be a good judge? And then, oh, here's the other thing. They took breaks in the middle of the show. Like 15-minute breaks.
Why?
I don't know. It was like, okay, you get 5 or 6 comics. I'm just throwing a number.
Yeah.
You get 5 or 6 comics to go up, and then a 15-minute break, like an intermission, and then come back.
Never like that.
No.
It breaks the flow of the show.
It does.
Yeah.
The intermission was longer than my stage time.
Yeah.
For one show. One of the sets I did.
Yeah.
They're like, you're doing 10 minutes.
The break was 15.
There's a 15-minute intermission. I was like, how's that fair? The bartender gets more time.
Yeah,
than I get.
never like intermission. Especially, it's always like somebody finally gets the audience and they're ready and then they go, intermission. Hey, you're going to go after the intermission. Great.
Oh, yeah.
Now I got to bring them back up.
Yeah. I mean, but the host was really good.
Good.
Well, for both, the host was really good. It was just, it was different. It was very different. So just be aware of that if you do comedy.
Okay, Ireland.
Yeah. So last time, we just talked about nothing, not ghosts. So I think with one of the last guests we had, you said you had a bunch of news stories and stuff happen.
Man.
I mean, it's been a month since we talked, and it's probably a month since we recorded that episode.
Yeah,
so
and I know I've been, and someone else hit another car. This is not a girl I was dealing with, though. That was a good thing. Yeah. I got into a fist fight.
What?
Yeah, that was crazy.
What? When did this happen?
I don't remember. You were gone, but
damn,
it was like it happened downtown, and the dude was asking for it.
Was that a
though.
show or
no? It was. I was out in the daytime hanging out.
In the daytime?
Yeah, daytime fight. I was on the scooter.
The daytime fight.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
I was on a scooter and we were about to crash into each other, and I tried to swerve, and my brakes weren't that good, and he didn't try to swerve anything. That made me mad. I'm like, yo, why didn't you try to brake or anything?
Yeah.
And he was like, and he hit me with the N-word, shut the F up, N-word.
What? Was this dude a homeless guy, or was he just...
He looked normal.
Just...
And then I wasn't... That kind of like upset me, but I was like, whatever. And then he went to like reach for something. And that's when I took off on him.
Right.
Because I don't know what you're reaching for.
Yeah, exactly.
Someone said it could have been chapstick. Well, that was the wrong time to grab his chapstick.
That's a bad time to fucking fix your chappy ass lips.
Yeah, so I had to hit him a couple of times. When he dropped, then I hopped on my scooter, took off. Then I parked it, ran a whole different direction just so if someone followed me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, that was exciting.
Got into a fist fight in downtown. So
In the day.
during the daytime, yeah.
the
I
day?
just left a day party, having a good time. I just went down the street because the place I was at didn't have no good food.
Right.
So I just went to grab something to eat real quick. Yes.
All right, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. That's what happens when you go get food by yourself. You always
Yeah.
got to take somebody with you.
Yeah. Our show at Flappers was fun. That was good.
It was a lot of fun.
We had a good lineup.
I like flappers.
When should we do another one?
How long apart was the first and the second one?
Well, it was 2 months apart because I was in Europe. That's the reason it was 2 months apart. It was like in April, and then I was gone early May.
What if we did the end of July?
End of July. How does the end of July work? I like it. Oh, yes. Wait. Yeah, that works.
And I forgot. I haven't done the Yoo-Hoo room in so long. I
Yeah.
forgot how much I really like it.
Yeah. If that room is full or even moderately full, like it wasn't packed for our show.
No.
There were like one or two tables that weren't.
But it was still great energy.
It was great energy, and the people were there. I'll be honest with you, 90% of them were my friends.
We needed them. Because I had a whole... I hate when people text me today. Oh, I'm not going to be able to make it. Then don't text me.
Yeah.
I'll notice you're not there.
Yeah. But yeah, that was good. We'll do another one. I'll talk to Josh about that. So, what do you got going on?
I got a casino show coming up here. Then I'll be in... Well, that's all in Sacramento.
Okay.
Ugh. I actually like Sacramento.
A girl from Sacramento broke my heart, so I reserve judgment on that town.
Sacramento is... I think it's where if you're retired, have a family, you could live there. Like
Yeah.
if you're young and want to have fun, why would you live in Sacramento on purpose?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, because then because they're like, oh, it's still an hour away from San Francisco or anything
right.
good. And who wants to drive an hour back? It's the home drive that always bothers me.
Yeah.
Once you're tired, I don't want to drive an hour to get back home.
Right.
So I got that. And then what else did I have? Oh, Atlanta. I got to go to Atlanta
Oh, shit.
next weekend, I believe it is.
Okay.
And I haven't been to Atlanta in so long.
What are you doing in Atlanta?
Uptown.
Okay. Yo, I flew into Atlanta for my gig, so I had to do this gig in Alabama, but I flew into ATL, right?
Yeah.
And I went in. I just went to a gym. I was like, I got to go to a gym. It's like I'm doing a movie at the end of the month. I got to lose some weight. I haven't fucking worked out. So I go to this gym in Atlanta, and I don't know Atlanta. It's been 20 plus years since I've been to Atlanta. Don't know Atlanta at all. Go to a gym. It's all black people and me. All black people, me, and one white couple.
Nice.
This skinny ass little white guy and a fine ass white girl with a big ass.
Oh.
And the whole time I was thinking, he is not leaving with her.
I bet he did.
She is definitely leaving not with him.
Not at all.
100% not leaving with this guy.
I wonder if it was her idea to pick that gym.
Maybe.
Then you know he's not leaving with her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do like Atlanta though. In fact, Atlanta's the first place. Uptown, in fact, they used to do a show on Sunday nights where they didn't even boo you. They would, if they didn't like you, they'd go shoot them in the face.
Shut up.
Everybody would stand up, point as guns
What?
at the comedian, and then the DJ would go, and they would all go, pow.
No.
And then he plays a compilation of disrespectful songs. And when you see someone get that, then they want to walk off and touch you. Don't touch me with all that negative on you.
Compilation of disrespectful songs.
Yeah. And you know how it is. You can't touch nobody because I'm next.
Yeah.
Don't touch me.
Yeah.
I don't need that on me.
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
Oh
they
my
don't
God.
play.
Oh, that's so good. All right. We'll wrap this up because I got to go buy an iPad because that one shit the bed. And I was using it for a speech. And nothing tells you that technology needs to be replaced like it just going bad
Yeah.
during one of the most important nights.
Oh, it was happening while you was giving the speech.
Oh, bro, it was as I was walking up to the stage.
I thought you meant like before or after, not during. That sucks.
Because it worked during rehearsal. It worked during rehearsal. It was a little stuttery because it's an older iPad. It's like an iPad Mini 2, which is at this point 8 years old.
Yeah, mine is like that. They won't even let me use YouTube no more because it says it's
oh my
too
god,
hard.
yes. I got one of those hanging in the fucking gym, and I don't even know for what or for why.
Yeah.
But like, this is an older iPad, and I had my script loaded on it, and I was hosting something. It was one of the big things I was doing, and it was like kind of stuttery. I was like, all right, it'll get through. It's fine. Like, just get through this night. I get up there, crash. I'm like,
Dang.
are you kidding me right now?
Was it in the cloud at least?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, I just, you know me, I just fumbled my way through whatever, and then as I was up there, like I remember the beginning of it, and I was up there like finger pressing on the iPad, like trying to get it to recognize my finger, and like, all right, come on, let's load up this fucking script. So yeah, I gotta go get a new one, and then I gotta produce a commercial tomorrow, and I desperately need it. So.
I understand.
But where people find you on the interwebs?
Deshaun Ross Comedy. Unless it's Instagram. If it is Instagram, only on Instagram, it's I am Deshaun Ross. DSEAN. Deshaun Ross.
Groovy. And I am at _ Thom Tran, THOMTRAN, everywhere across the internet. I am doing a new thing, though. It's called a military minute. So I got asked by the Army to help them out with a recruiting thing this weekend. So I'm doing like a minute long, like little factoids about the Army, and it's called a military minute.
Yeah.
So if you're not doing anything, check that out. It's on Facebook. No, it's not on Facebook. It's on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Although I haven't loaded anything on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube yet. It's all still under my. You know what? Never mind. Just go to my page _ Thom Tran, THOMTRAN. The show's website is at Scary Funny Show across the internet. Make sure you follow us on the Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. I'd say tweet at us and tell us where you are, but I don't use Twitter anymore because it's a fucking dumpster fire and I don't give a shit.
Yep.
So just hit us up on Instagram. Let us know where you are, what's haunted in your town, what we should check out while we're on tour. Make sure you buy some of our merch on TeePublic, like a t-shirt or a poster or a mouse pad. You can support us on Patreon by becoming a lost boy or girl, a Ghostbuster, part of the Army of Darkness, or what was the other one? Oh, part of the Monster Squad. And of course, if you want to help out but you don't want to spend the cash, hit us up and just leave us a fun comment, a 5-star rating, tell your friends about us. Like, subscribe, share the show. Thanks again, as always, for listening. Live long. Nope, that's it. What's the out cue? Oh, yeah. Keep laughing or die trying. It's been a long time since we've done this.
I remember the die trying part.